Welcome to the podcast, Paul.
Thank you, guys. It's an honor to be here.
Well, we are honored to have you here. We were talking on the phone a couple weeks ago, and you asked whenever you came to town, you're like, can I sit in on the recording of an episode? And I was like, do you want to be on an episode?
I was like, heck yeah, dude. That was great.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're excited to have you here, and you leave town tomorrow. So a little bit sad about that. It's been a fun few days. So, well, for people who don't know you,
Okay.
go ahead and give a little bit of an overview of, you know, kind of where you're at now and a brief history, and then we'll dive into, you know, wherever we want to take some rabbit holes. That's fine.
Sweet. Well, I mean, I met you first at Pensacola Christian College, and we were both in marketing classes together.
Mm-hmm.
And just going through school, classes, nothing was really bad per se. The teachers were nice, had some really cool teachers. Classes were okay. I wasn't feeling it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Second year, so I was a sophomore, first semester. I really enjoyed my freshman year a lot more than my second year. And I was just wading through the classes at that point. And my roommate, his alternator went out on his BMW. And so I'm in the parking lot. I'm changing his alternator out. It took a lot longer than it should have because we did not have the tools for it. We were trying to scavenge down some tools, like going 30 minutes just trying to find tools.
Wow.
Put his alternator in. Now, I will say he wanted to do it with me, but I was just so ready for it to be done that I did it when he was in class.
Nice. That's a true friend move.
Yep.
And then it was at that point, like mid alternator, I was like, yo, I could do this for a living. I could turn wrenches the rest of my life. And it was that night I called my father, expecting him to be, you know, oh, you need to stay in school. You know, we're paying for it. You need to stay in school. You need to get a real job. But I'm glad he didn't, because he was a engine mechanic in the Navy.
Okay.
So when I told him, I was like, I really feel like this is what I need to do. I just need to leave, and you know, I can get in at a shop. I have a friend who owns a shop. I can get in there, get some experience under my belt. And he's like, if that's what you want to do, go for it. Just don't half do it.
Yeah.
Do it all the way.
Yep.
And that stuck with me too. Just a father's approval like that. And then we hung up. I called my mom, expecting her to be, you know, stay in school. It's the Lord's will, stay at Pensacola. And I had her approval right off the bat. She didn't question anything. She was like, do it all the way. And so I was going to finish out the semester, but my bill hadn't been paid, and they weren't going to let me take my exams. So I was like, screw it. I'll just leave now.
Yeah.
After that phone call, I think I was there maybe a week, and then I left. Came back home, was working for a cell phone repair company just until I got in at the shop. Stayed at the shop a little over a year, simply because I had a better job opportunity present itself in the form of RVs, which was a slight shift in direction, because I don't deal with engine mechanics anymore. Every now and again, something will come up, and I'm like, ooh.
Yeah. Get back into what you enjoy.
Right. But no, it's a sweet gig. Good employers, good coworkers, good atmosphere all around. So it really
It's
helps.
so important.
Oh, dude, it's amazing.
Yeah. Having good employees or good coworkers that you're working with, good managers. I mean, that can make or break a job.
Yeah.
Really.
It really can.
Interesting. So what are you doing now? What does your day kind of entail?
So I am what is referred to as a PDI tech. That is a pre-delivery inspection. So anything that is bought, whether it be used or a trade or brand new, I'll go in and it will come into my bay, whether it's a drivable unit or something that the tractor has to pull in for me.
Okay.
Usually brand new units have 5 or 6 things wrong with them generally. And those are going to be in the form of like trim is falling down on the walls, or one of the tanks isn't reading correctly, because it'll go from 1/3 empty to 1/3 to 2/3 to full. And sometimes you'll get the sensors reversed. And so it will read empty, and then after 20 minutes of filling the tank, it'll read full, but you have nothing in between it. Or if it's full, it will only read 1/3.
Gotcha. So like fine-tuning the
details, especially the new stuff.
Yeah.
The used trailers that's where the fun begins.
Yeah.
So just last week, this may be kind of gross.
No, go ahead.
It was a black tank pull handle.
Okay.
So you have 2 types of pull handles for your your tanks, and we call them valves, basically. Whether it be a gray tank or a black tank, you're going to have, usually on the trailers, the handle is right next to the valve, and you just reach under and you give it, it's a T-handle, you give it a tug, and it will open the valve, letting the sewer out. This one was a longer handle, so it has a steel cable running from the valve to the handle, whether the handle's 3 feet or 8 feet away. So you kind of have to run under, and it was a B van. So it's one of those, think of like a transit van that had been turned into a camper.
Right.
Well, that valve was broken.
Oh, boy.
So I had no clearance because the shop I'm at, we don't have lifts for the trailers. Usually because you don't need them.
Yeah, you're not doing mechanical. You're
Correct.
just,
Yeah.
So I'm under the trailer, and
Oh, no. I already see where this is going.
You already know where this is going. Luckily, I was out of the way. It was just when everything started coming out, it was splashing on me. So that was a good taste in my mouth.
Yeah. Fun experience.
Wow, welcome to the job, man.
Yeah.
Interesting. That I was always so scared of. We used to empty, I don't even know what it's called anymore. Empty labs, for planes, and I was always like, this is so nasty.
Yeah.
Interesting. Now, how did you find that job as the RV tech? Did that come up?
It was actually my roommate's cousin.
Oh, cool.
So we were at a birthday party for my roommate's sister, and then her girlfriend was hanging around, and that's my cousin.
Wow.
Close family tree.
Yeah. Small world, though, at the same
right?
time, like just through all these different waves and just boom, here
it
you
was
are.
great. She said, are you happy? You always come home super tired and super stressed out. And I was like, yeah, I mean, it's a good job. I mean, no job is perfect.
No,
Every job has its flaws. But she said, hey, we're opening for techs. We have a few spots open. Why don't you drop off a resume? Dropped off the resume, got the job there.
That's cool.
Took a 2-week sabbatical. I was like, I could use a vacation.
Yeah.
And then the rest is history.
Jumped into it. That's awesome. So obviously, I mean, nobody knows exactly what's going to be happening, but what are your future plans? Are you wanting to get back into, some of that more general hands-on engine stuff, or stick where you are for a little while longer? Where you want to go from here?
Honestly, it depends on what presents itself. Right now, I'm happy with the RVs, and
that's worth something.
It's worth something.
Yeah.
You can make good money with RVs, or so I'm told.
Yeah.
But honestly, I think I'll be satisfied if I just have my own garage I can play around with.
That's cool.
That's the ultimate
project
goal.
cars.
I think that would be awesome. This is completely off topic, but I was thinking the other day, I was like, what if you just had, I have a lot of friends in a lot of different industries, I guess I would say, but pretty much all of my friends are to some degree business minded, and that's why I enjoy hanging out with them and we get along well. I was like, what if you moved here and started a garage or something like that, and we have things going in real estate and just lawn care eventually, hopefully
a wide variety.
Having a bunch of different I think it'd be so cool to have friends running businesses in all the different industries. I just think that would be so cool. Cool. So you should move to Pensacola and start a garage is what I'm saying.
Oh,
so,
okay. You want to provide
Rachel,
the overhead?
if you're let's do it. We'll get together and talk after this is finished. Rachel, we want Paul to move to Pensacola. That's really what this entire episode is about. We need him down here.
Right.
It's exactly. And for those who don't know, Rachel is Paul's fiance. So anyway, so I don't want to make her I don't want to make her mad at me by calling her out.
She's already
here.
making fun of me for being on the podcast. I was like, yo, babe, I'm going to be on this podcast. She's like, why? Because it's cool.
Yeah, you're going to have to work on her, make sure
podcasts
she sees the light. Podcasts are good.
Everybody listens to them now.
Well,
this is true.
Except Rachel.
Yeah.
Apparently. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Can't discount that, I guess.
No, I love podcasts, though, because like we were talking about the other day, you get to sit in on a conversation with people that you're interested in hearing from. And I don't know, it's just so, a lot of times podcasts that I listen to, they aren't talking about business concepts or really things of substance, but they're talking about interesting things, and it's just enjoyable to listen to.
Yeah.
So, anyway, well, having said all that, you're living in Greenville right now, right?
Greenville, South Carolina.
I don't think we've ever even been there. I never have.
I'm trying to think. I've been to South Carolina a couple times, but I don't know. I think I passed through Greenville, but not actually been there.
Do you
which
enjoy it
doesn't
up
really
there?
count.
I do. I
Okay.
do. It's pretty. It's a lot of green trees.
Mhm.
The downtown area is really lifting off, and even the areas outlining Greenville, busy, really busy. The roads should not be packed the way they are, but they definitely are.
Yeah.
Like if you live in Greenville and you say Woodruff Road, everybody knows what you're talking about. Everybody's just gonna immediately get irritated
Really?
because they just know that road,
Mhm.
and all these other roads are becoming Woodruff Road, and they should not be.
Wow.
But everything's popping up everywhere,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and so it's really booming and expanding.
Well, it's good to see that kind of growth.
Yeah.
That's exciting. And I mean, there's places like that everywhere, I'm sure. Here, there's, 9 Mile out by Navy Fed. Everybody talks about the traffic out there.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. Constant construction always. Ever
Yeah.
since I first
Constant
moved here,
improvement.
actually, just construction.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's wonderful. So that's cool.
Consistent.
So when you're getting married next year,
August 14th.
August 14th.
Yep.
That's exactly right. So I know things are kind of up in the air. Could you see yourself staying in Greenville for a while and enjoying it there?
For a couple of years.
Sure.
I've never wanted to stay in Greenville.
In
and I'm
perpetuity.
trying to, get Rachel comfortable with that idea.
Sure.
But all of her family is there, so I understand where
Yeah.
her side of it
And
is.
that's valuable to be close to family.
oh,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, I mean, and there's something. The other thing that I was thinking about as we were talking about this yesterday. There's just so much time. You
There
know,
is.
there's
we have
there's,
our whole lives.
Exactly. There's time to live in some place for a little bit and then move and pursue opportunities like you're talking about.
Yep.
Right.
It's easy to feel like you're pigeonholed into something because this is what you've spent time doing, but in the end, that's not
Yeah.
how it is. So having said that, let's talk a little bit about what you do in your free time, hobbies, things like that you enjoy doing. Let's talk about your personal life, Paul. Open up.
Ooh. So I really have no personal life. It's kind of boring.
Not at all.
When I get time and I'm not super tired, I spend a lot of time with Rachel, of course.
As you should.
Yeah. I go over to her place a lot. It's only me and my roommate, so she's not super able to come over.
Sure.
She can when we have other guests over, which is
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
But I spend a lot of time at their house. And I honestly just play video games with my roommate.
Oh, heck yeah. What's your poison? What's your video game of choice?
My go-to right now is Modern Warfare because Cold War is trash. I gotta say it.
May make some people mad.
But we got 3 other dudes up in Ohio that we play with
Cool.
almost every night.
Wow.
So it's not really an escape per se. It's more socializing
Yeah.
for us
very-
at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll hardly ever play Modern Warfare alone.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
just
that's-
whenever we see that they're online, then
You hop on. Yeah.
That's what I was just going to say. For Danny and I, that's how it was too. One, I would play with my roommate, Evan. I never really liked doing it by myself, but it was always, if he was getting on or something,
Yeah.
I'll jump on and
Yeah.
oh yeah.
get up on the mics. And
Favorite pastime.
yeah, honestly, that is really, I don't want to say a guilty pleasure, but something that I really enjoy doing whenever I have the time. I love.
And you have to have the time. If you don't have the time and you start jumping into it, then
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your whole day is wasted.
Yeah. And it's so easy to waste an entire day. It really is. We just kind of coming off of a sabbatical now. We talked about this, but haven't played for like 6 months because you moved down here like 3 months ago. And before then I had loaned my Xbox to somebody and just never got it back. So we just started playing yesterday, and it's going to be kind of fun to jump back into it, especially over the holidays. Things are going to be slowing down tremendously. Not slowing down, but people are not looking at making big buying and selling decisions around the holidays. The same people are in the market, but people don't really want to be moving and stuff like that over Christmas. So
it'll be a lot less stressful for you guys.
Exactly. Yeah. Most of what we're going to be doing is just working on the business and then slowing down lead generation and jumping more into just making sure our transactions get to closing, and then prepping things for 2021.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Get
2021, I
everything
can't
lined
even
up and
believe 2021 it's like
It's
a
here.
month away. It's
Yeah.
it's literally here. It's absolutely crazy how fast time is going. And honestly, that was one thing I was thinking of when you first came to town too, just a few days ago. We were just in college together.
We were.
But that was
I was
2 years ago. Yeah. It's crazy.
Me and Brandon were just talking about that yesterday, a couple days before I left.
Yeah.
Because in January, he'll have been moved into Greenville for a year.
Wow.
It's crazy. You just blink, and I know people say that all the time, especially older generations.
Right.
They just look back and they're like, "Wow, where has our life gone?"
Yeah.
But it's good. Like we were talking about, it's good to have social things that you do to just enjoy the time that you have. Like there's been several of our other guests actually that play Call of Duty, and I kind of wish we had touched on it a little bit because it's fun to have something that's purely entertainment. Like you sit down. Everybody sits down at some point and during the week and watches a movie or TV show or whatever. And obviously, like for guys like us who don't have kids and people that are dependent on our time, then the time that we do have to unwind is very well spent with the guys or whoever playing video games or going out and doing stuff. It doesn't matter. You're spending time to unwind
as a group.
Right.
Yeah.
So I actually play with one of the guys in Ohio, and this gives me hope for my future in video games.
Okay.
He has 3 kids.
Whoa.
And he's married. And he will play with his son and his son's buddies.
Fantastic.
And once his kids go to bed and his wife goes to bed, which thankfully she goes to bed real early, around 8.
Nice.
He'll jump on and he'll play with us.
Nice.
Until like 12.
That's cool. That's cool.
That is cool. I mean, and to be able to play that with your sons, I'll bet that's enjoyable. I mean,
I have a pretty good friend actually from St. Louis. One of his buddies, they were both DEA agents, and they would both play. I played Modern Warfare with my friend, but then his buddy would play Fortnite with his sons.
That's pretty cool.
Then
That's
he
pretty
would play
nice.
with his son's friends, and that's how he spent his off hours.
Yeah.
It was just cool.
The days of going and tossing a ball with your dad are gone.
Well,
Grab a controller and jump on Modern Warfare.
It is different.
Right?
It is different.
No, it
now.
is. Yeah, it's a different time. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, you're going to do a lot of different things with your kids.
Oh, definitely.
But, and dad, our dad
He would play.
gets into video games if we're around.
He would play. Yeah.
He would definitely. He learned how when we were in high school. And I just found out today that my nephews are getting into Minecraft.
Nice.
So I think that's that's a cool thing.
Oh,
I think that's a creative thing.
It was never not cool.
Wrong.
It's got its ups
No,
and down cycles,
yeah,
but
I
overall,
enjoy
I think
Minecraft.
it's definitely been a consistent, timeless
Oh, yeah.
game.
Yeah.
I'm really
sure.
glad the whole video game industry has been more to crossplay now and online.
Yeah,
so
right.
Because
everybody
when it
can
first
play.
started, everybody was like, "Oh,
Yeah,
it's kind of sketchy talking to other people." But now no one really looks at video games as a waste of time now.
Yeah.
because it's socializing.
Well, and it's amazing too. Taking it a step further, the e-gaming industry is just blown up.
Oh yeah,
I mean, and especially now with COVID, man, that's actually where I really started to get into playing again, was because of COVID. I was like, well, I've got extra time. I'm working 2 jobs, so I'm putting in time to make money.
Yep.
So now when I get to actually take a seat,
Your off hours.
then I'm gonna play Modern Warfare, because like you said, it's cross compatible, so I can play with any of my friends, and whether they're in their 40s or older, or my age or whatever, like any of them can play. And so that's what we would do during the shutdown. But just limiting football and everything during the shutdown and everything, just e-gaming took a huge spike, and it's
skyrocketed.
continually, like, people are seeing the value in it now. It's continually progressing forward. Just crazy, the millions of dollars you can win just being solidly decent a popular game.
It is,
just
yeah.
crazy.
It is crazy. The different ways. I mean, people can monetize stuff.
Oh yeah.
Now it's
yeah.
it's bonkers, and you're talking about like competitions you can win. Also, if you jump on YouTube,
I was gonna say competition,
Right.
streaming, even. I mean,
Yep.
you
That's
do
true,
anything
streaming.
that's you're pretty good at. You can make money.
That's true. If you're good at something, never do it for free.
Now the funny thing is, everyone makes fun of people when they're like, "Oh, what you watch on YouTube? Oh, I'm watching this guy play a video game." Why would you do that?
It's
Well,
pretty
He's making
fun,
a lot
actually.
of money, man. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
It's
I'm here
enjoyable.
for it.
Yeah,
It is.
I enjoy that. I follow a lot of channels actually that they play games, but they do voiceovers and talk about. It's kind of a podcast essentially,
Right.
But they're just playing something, and that's just their video background while they talk about different things. I'm like, man, I could do this.
Yeah.
I could play video games, and then record myself talking at a completely different time and talk about
Right.
popular culture.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
You would probably need Danny's gameplay footage though.
You're right. Yeah, I'm a little trash.
Yeah,
and you know
based off
what?
of last
Honestly,
night.
I'm not even mad that I'm my skill has dropped so much because it means I've been busy.
It's
Right.
true.
But
True.
also it really stinks. I was thinking about that actually when we were playing yesterday. It's like everybody is you're at different levels in the social hierarchy in different groups. So like, if I go on a showing or whatever, I'm there providing value and I'm looked at as a resource. Selling suits at Men's Warehouse, same thing. But when I jump on Modern Warfare and I'm the lowest one on the team, it's like, man, what are you doing?
Yeah.
It's like,
Get good,
I really
scrub.
thought, yeah, get good. Exactly.
That's so funny. That's a good way to put it, though.
yeah.
It's true. In different groups, you're different levels, and it's all about what you put your time into.
Well, that's the thing. Exactly right. So I play for enjoyment, and I can only play.
That's where it's at, though.
I agree.
Yeah,
I
I
agree.
agree.
Yeah, when you take it too seriously, there was a time when I took things really, really seriously, and it just makes it no fun for anybody. I think.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's just a
It's
game.
just a game.
Yeah,
That's
a game.
exactly right.
Exactly. I was
Just a
just going
game,
to say
man.
that. Well, it's all just a game, and you're there to have fun and
Right.
unwind.
It does not impact your life.
So, are there any other things that you do in your spare time? Kind of building off of that. I know, like you said, you're pretty limited right now. You're working a lot. You're with your fiance and the extra hours that you have, and then to wind down, you play video games. But is there any other side gigs that you're doing, or any other interests that you've got?
I'll do occasional side gigs. I touch base on working for a cell phone repair company.
Okay.
So I'll occasionally fix some other people's phones for
Oh yeah,
a
phone
little bit
repair.
of a profit.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah.
Because coming to me is still a little bit cheaper than the big names.
Sure.
Yeah.
And that's the way to get business,
It really is. I'll tinker with cars. I'll go over to her grandparents' house in their garage and help her dad fix some other stuff.
Smart.
But other than that, it's just kind of laid back work
Yeah.
and more work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because I am getting married next year. So
Yeah.
That's what I was just gonna say.
exactly.
This is
Weddings
kind of
are
a time in your
expensive,
life.
as you probably know, Danny.
Mhm.
Absolutely, I do.
Mm-hmm.
And we did ours pretty cheap overall, but man, it's
It's a
tough.
lot.
It's tough.
Takes time and money. Yeah.
Mhm.
If there's ever a time to buckle down and work hard, it's right before your wedding.
Oh yeah.
I think. Oh man. Well, that's cool, man. I'm just excited to have. I enjoy having all of our guests. Obviously, I don't want
Yeah.
anybody to be irritated at me,
Right.
but it's fun when we can get friends, personal friends on the show, because it's just a little more, just a lot more laid back. Definitely
Right.
not that like tension of
Yeah.
When
It-
Mikey invited me to the podcast, which was pretty stupid cool, because I was just thinking I was going to sit in the back and kind of watch the whole process.
Just
go
sit
down.
there in the corner like.
No, but when he
learn from
asked,
it.
I was like, "Well, shoot, man, I'm not an entrepreneur.
Yeah. And I told him, I was like, it's my show.
I'll do what I want.
I can have
fair enough.
whoever on that I want.
Well, plus, I mean, it's Thanksgiving. You're thankful for friends, and you're the
Right.
visiting friend in
there you
town,
go.
so-
You're the only one who made the effort to be here.
Yeah.
So everybody else,
I wouldn't miss it, man.
yeah. I honestly, I love that you visit here often, semi often. It's
And
something
I will
that's-
say, as a plug, thinking about it from a bigger perspective, you're the first one to actually financially support the podcast in a way.
that is true.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I try not to, we're doing this for reasons other than monetization.
Right.
So we don't we've taken the ads off of, our episodes and
Yeah.
different things like that, because I don't want people to feel like we're trying to sell them on anything, because we're not.
Yeah, but camera gear and mics are expensive.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is expensive.
Yeah.
Exactly. And this is more of like a long-term play. So I've never even said on the podcast that you can go to Anchor and support the podcast, but you just figured it out and you did. And I was like, man, what? All these other people who say they're my friend, they're not on Paul's level. So honestly, really appreciate you, man.
Not a problem,
It's
dude.
been
I'm
it's
happy to
been
help.
a long ride since college, really, but got a lot of things to look forward to.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know, you're just really, I hope that at some point in the future we can get you to move at least closer to
Closer.
Pensacola
I
than,
would.
than
I would
Greenville.
love that.
So awesome, man. Was there any parting comments that you'd like to make, or any shout outs you want to say hi to your mom while you're on the air?
Oh, she ain't gonna listen to this.
No worries. Okay, well, we already talked about Rachel a little bit, enough for her to at least be a little miffed at us for.
Yeah. Well, I hope she feels love.
Oh, those are your
I
friends?
hope she does too. I met
You
her
got some
that
weird friends.
you're our friend, so that says something about you too. So,
Yeah, I'm pretty weird.
That was a good recovery.
yeah, I was just, you saw me thinking about it. I was like, oh,
No, but in all honesty, all of your friends click so well with the rest of your groups.
Yeah.
Like, because I had never met Danny.
It's true.
Never
Yeah.
met JoJo. Never met Jess.
Yeah.
Before 2 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I walked in. Couple
That's-
minutes. I felt like I've known him forever.
Well, we try, man,
It's a great
honestly.
place to
And
be.
that's what Danny and I have talked about whenever they first moved down here. He just told me, he was like, I'm grateful that I've been able to just get plugged into your group. And he told us that we made them feel welcome. Like, you know, you feel welcome. And I was just thinking about it. And I just thought, you know what? It's the people that you hang around with matter so much. And we all know that. And I've tried to take that seriously. And since college, I mean, you knew me in college. I'm pretty much just
Right.
friendly with everybody. But since college, the people that I actually spend time with, it's a very small group of people.
Mm-hmm.
And those people are really, they align with us and how we operate and you know, our core values, I guess I would say.
Yeah.
And we just mesh personality wise really, really well. But it's always good to hear, you know, somebody that,
Oh, yeah.
that comes in and just says, hey, you made me feel really welcome, or
Y'all did. Like, I'm not a part of the group. I don't live here.
You are.
But y'all made me feel like I was a part of the group.
yep.
Well, that's
Like that
good.
kind of family meeting from
Yeah.
last night. I was like, man, this is nice.
Yeah, it's
This is
cool.
nice.
And that's, we try and, I don't know, I've been starved of that for so long. And you're probably so tired of hearing me say this because I lived down here for so long by myself. And honestly, thank you to Isaac, my cousin, so much we had a little bit of that. He always would let me come over for dinners or for holidays or things like that.
Yeah, that family atmosphere.
Yeah, so I got a little bit of that, but it's different when it's your immediate family. And it's just really having you guys down here has been,
A blessing.
yeah, a blessing. I guess there's no other way to say it.
I like to be labeled as a blessing. so
You
that's
are
why
a
I'm gonna-
blessing. You are a
That's the
blessing
word
to
of
me.
choice.
The bald blessing.
The
The
bald
bald
blessing. That's
That's
let's
gonna
get
be
you
my
a
new
T-shirt that
Instagram
says the bald
username.
blessing. Do it. I'll bet you won't. You won't change it right now.
I sure will.
Do it. Danny's changing his name to the bald blessing.
Right on.
We'll keep talking at least while I'm doing
Yeah.
that.
No, we're just gonna sit here and like.
No, mentioning going back to what you said 2 seconds ago about immediate family.
Yeah.
And you have Danny and Jess down here. That's one of the reasons I came down for Thanksgiving because my family lives in Guam. So
So there was no
Yeah.
way for you to
I
see
had,
them.
yeah, not them. Oh
Mhm.
no, that's $2,000 a plane ticket.
Oh, is it that much still? Even
That's
with coronavirus?
Tough.
Man.
So I could have spent Thanksgiving with my grandparents. I got some uncles and cousins around Greenville, but they weren't doing anything for Thanksgiving
Okay.
nor Christmas. And then Rachel and her family are, of course, in Disney World right now. So I was like, well, it falls on my 3-day weekend
Yep.
from work. I'll ask an extra day. What more could I ask for?
That's-
It's a perfect opportunity.
Yep, that's exactly right. And I love it. It's kind of nice because Florida is, it's a vacation destination anyway. Not Pensacola so much, but we're on the way. A lot of times, if people are going down to Orlando or driving, we're on the way down and up. So it's nice that we get to see people passing through. But also, you know, people don't make the effort a whole lot. Let
Is
me
it
see.
done?
Success.
The bald blessing. Go give him a follow.
Shout out the bald blessing.
Change your profile picture to a picture of your bald head. Do it.
I don't
While
even
we're on
have-
this track,
I
do
don't
it.
have any pictures.
Oh, I have a perfect one. I'll send you.
All right,
This
yeah.
is
That
some
one that I put
hardcore
on my
peer
story that one
pressure.
time.
Hook me up later.
Yeah, it is
I
peer
know,
pressure.
yeah.
While
Just
we're on air.
on air. Wow.
Do it, Danny. Do it. You
I already
won't do
changed
it.
my username. Now it's like, now completely overhaul your feed.
I will. No. You can keep your feed the same. Whenever
you're
if you
gonna
change
go
your
home.
if you change your profile picture, yeah. I noticed earlier today when I was telling teasing JoJo about doing overtime whenever we come back and play video games.
Yeah.
She was like, yeah. I was like, no, I'm just teasing, and she was like, I wasn't gonna do it anyway, even if you weren't teasing.
Right. Yeah.
And I feel like I have the tendency a lot of times to be like, hey, you should do this, or you know, like you're good, like giving my blessing or consent to things. It's
Yeah,
like you don't actually
your
have
approval.
to do. Yeah, I don't have to do that. I don't know why that I do. but
Everybody functions on Mikey's approval.
if
Right.
you
He's going to go back home and JoJo's going to be like, yo, what the crap, dude? The bald blessing?
Yeah.
Really?
Bald blessing.
I made him do it. If you change your profile
No,
picture, I will screenshot it and shout you out on the business page.
Oh, thanks. Like I don't get shout outs.
Yeah,
all
you're
the
right.
time.
You're always on the business page. I'll do it.
That's part of the reason I feel like I knew them so well. 'Cause
Yeah,
I see them
stories.
all the time.
Mhm.
Yep.
That's one thing about social media too. Is such a tool for expressing yourself and your personality, and you can
Yeah.
get people comfortable with you without even really knowing you.
Mhm.
So
Isn't
it's-
that interesting?
yeah, that's why I try and do it. I don't want the social media to take too much time or effort, because it's not an end in itself, but it is a tool. So
very powerful tool these
very
days.
powerful. Yep. Well,
Just
all
like
this,
video games.
I was just going to say, all this talk about video games, that's what we're going to do after this.
Yep.
So I say we wrap it up and get rolling.
You
Sounds
ready
good.
to lose?
Don't even pretend like that's not what's gonna happen.
You saw me thinking, I was like, oh, no,
Hey,
that's exactly
After
what's gonna
yesterday, maybe things will change. We're warmed up a little bit.
Yeah.
You know,
You know what?
You're like, I should be the gamer and he should be the voiceover. I'm not even a gamer. Like,
That's
I
funny.
barely did any better than you.
Yeah, I was gonna say we were pretty neck and neck. That
Yeah,
whole
we were.
time.
We
I
were.
don't- So
We'll go, have
see
I
some
will
what
friendly
say it
happens.
was
competition.
definitely a struggle moving back from PC.
Yeah,
to a controller again.
Oh, yeah.
Because I started on controller, and then it was a struggle from controller to PC,
to PC. Mm-hmm.
and now it's double more so. Just
I can't even imagine using a keyboard. I just think it'd be so.
It's crazy. Well, it's a
strange.
different. It's a learning curve, but it's so much more valuable for
it
gamers.
is
For
Yeah.
gaming.
because
That's
it's
what
not
I've
really
heard.
necessarily
Gamers.
the keyboard; it's the mouse.
Yeah, it's so highly
Your movement
sensitive.
speed is just
Yeah, that's crazy. Man, it's so weird talking about video games on the podcast, but
I know.
love
I,
it.
I feel like
it's
it's
just
kind
a
of
nice
taboo.
break. Yeah, well, I would say a more enjoyable, but that's not the right word. You know
Right.
what I'm digging at. It's
Yeah.
a more relaxed episode that
Oh,
people
for
can
sure.
just
Yeah,
put
no,
on
I-
during Thanksgiving
Yeah, I like this. I really do. And I would like to do stuff like this a little more often.
every now and then. Yeah.
Every now and then, exactly. And you and I can do a couple episodes too. I feel like we have enough that we could talk about.
Yeah, that's
to
true.
do episodes
That's true.
between us without having a guest on. So, but there's a lot of people that I want to have on, and kind of give them a spotlight and give them a platform
Give
to
them a
talk about their
voice, yeah.
stuff. So there's a
Yeah.
lot of people in Pensacola.
Mhm.
So, and you're not one of them, but we're
Yet.
working on
Yet.
you. Exactly.
that's the game plan.
Speaking of peer pressure on the show,
Yeah,
Right.
if you say it on the podcast, it carries more weight. I love it. All right, man. Well, is there anything else you'd like to say to the people before you leave? I already asked you that, and you said no.
I think I'm good.
Okay, Roger that.
Fantastic.
Paul, I appreciate you being on the
Hey,
podcast.
it was a blast,
and
man.
it's good to have you.
we'll do a follow up episode, I'm sure, sometime down the road. If you
That's
come
right.
visit me again for Thanksgiving next
Mhm.
year, we'll do the same exact thing.
Well, next year I'll have Rachel.
Oh,
Hey,
cool! Yeah,
I
we can
love
get
it.
Rachel on the podcast.
Looking forward to looking
If
forward
I'll
to
bet
y'all
she
meeting
would,
with
get
you,
Rachel on the
regardless.
podcast, the fact that y'all will still be doing the podcast.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We'll still be doing the podcast.
We'll be doing
Tom.
it,
He's
and by that
Oh,
time,
don't worry.
We've kind
we
of
will
set
still
our,
be doing it.
we have kind of set our benchmark for a minimum of 12 months though.
Mhm.
That's
Okay.
our goal, and 18 months is like kind of our unspoken goal.
Yeah.
Where regardless of what happens, we're just gonna keep.
I would.
plugging.
Yeah. I mean, the
pushing
plan
content.
really is to do it in perpetuity.
Yeah,
You
fair
know.
enough.
But we just decided we're not even going to look at numbers or anything
Yeah.
for the first 6 to 12 months
Exactly. We're
because
just gonna keep.
again, that's not what it's about.
going.
You know.
Right.
So
Yep.
anyway, and by that time we'll have a fourth microphone as well, so we can get both of you guys on.
That's
here.
right.
Sweet.
Yep.
I'm actually that'll be an exciting addition when we can get 4.
Mhm. We've got
Microphones.
several guests that are pairs that we're looking
Yeah,
forward to
either
having on the-
couples or partners or different things
partners,
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that down the road. So
Well, Paul, it's good to have you. This was
Michael,
a
I
good
love it, man.
episode.